All right, let's do it live on a Friday edition of the program. Merely Beau and the great Z, who minutes before the show said, I can do anything with a spoon, to the lovely Miss K.
Fact.
When she was looking for a fork for you to eat your salad.
They wrote a song about me. I believe it was Soundgarden? Spoon Man?
Great
you have
song.
that right. Yeah, it's
that
a
is
good pull out of you.
Fantastic song.
We really could. Why the
Let's
best?
go. The next level is next. Happy Friday.
I mean, tell
Happy
me.
Friday. It's beautiful
I'll
out
see
there.
you on down
I'll
the
see you
road.
down the road, yeah.
There really is they have them in some, like, I feel like on like some Swiss Army knives, they have like the spoon fork combo.
A spork.
That's really all you need.
Spork is.
That's all you need. That does it all. Like, you don't need them both. It solves the problems.
In my mind, the spork was invented by Colonel Sanders because my first introduction to a spork was with mashed potatoes from KFC as a child. Does anybody else have that recollection?
Of course.
And it was so good. I haven't eaten it in probably 30, not 30, probably 25 years, 20 years. 20
Like
years.
the KFC mashed potatoes and gravy
Just
situation.
KFC, anything.
Anything, yeah. That was my hangover go-to in college, was the chicken strips with the mashed potatoes and gravy, and then oddly a Mountain Dew, which I've never drank in any other scenario.
Vince
But
Conti,
for
friend of the show, big Mountain Dew guy.
of course he is.
Of course he is.
For some reason, at that time when I was if you'd have a hangover, that's what it would go with.
Interesting.
route,
So I tried last time I tried KFC.
Sure, it's delicious.
Had to be about 2002,
Okay.
and it had been a while since I'd had it prior to that. Like, I didn't eat any KFC in college.
Yeah.
And I recall that I paid a price for like a week thereafter, and I decided that my innards were no longer receptive
Not prepared,
to what
yeah.
KFC was.
What I would
bringing.
say, also important to note, that where you and I grew up, if you wanted fried chicken in a fast variety, that was the only option. So yet when you moved to the South, which is not far off when I moved to the South, plethora of options.
Tons.
Popeyes, Church's,
Sure.
Cane's, all these
All of
things, Guthrie's, they all came into.
Yeah.
There was all sorts of fried chicken options. But
Everywhere you looked.
where I grew up, it was only KFC.
Same.
Like, if either my grandma was making fried chicken or that was it.
I don't think I ever have had homemade fried chicken by like my parents growing up. I've had somebody else's fried chicken is excellent, but we would
It's
get
a tough make, to be honest.
yeah.
It's a tough make.
Agreed.
Really
For it to
hard.
turn out good.
Yeah, it's hard. You can overcook it. The oil's got to be perfect. It's hard. It's a tough make.
They used to like to get it. We would go to the water park, and we would bring
It's perfect.
KFC,
Yes.
which would be cold by the time you ate it, but it was
Yeah,
still
it's fine.
delicious. We would get at the time at Thrifty's was like our local drugstore, and you could get like a 6-pack of soda, or maybe it was at Lucky's, but you get like a 6-pack of soda for like 30 cents
That's right.
because it was some non-branded grape soda, orange soda. Like, it just told you what it was.
That's it.
Cola.
Cola.
That's all it said
All
on
you
it.
needed
That's
to
all you
know.
need. Okay,
For
got
us, it was Shasta. There was
Shasta.
Shasta that was a big deal.
Shasta was a plant. Their plant was in Hayward.
There you go. Yeah. So there
Right
was,
by
you'd
my
see the
house.
Shasta. You'd get
Yeah.
everything.
And
Whatever. What do you need? What flavor do you want?
Exactly. And
Cream
cheap.
soda, root beer, cherry,
Strawberry.
grape,
They did
orange.
have the strawberries. Kid,
Of course
I'd
they
like
had a
it. So
strawberry.
you get your KFC, you get your own sixer of soda, and then I remember we used to get, like, me and my friend that I would get to bring would get like $5 of spending money, and often my friend would just not spend it and pocket the $5, which was in retrospect smart.
Was quite smart of him.
Yeah.
I envision you going to. I think there's a lot of you in Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan. To me, your youth with the yoke of Pedro and the notion of you just want to have fun and be in a wild stallion. You're in California, San Dimas high rules. I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like there's a lot of parallels there. Which
Yeah.
one's dad was the one who was always going to go to military camp? It was a Keanu Reeves character. I don't remember if he was Bill or Ted. But that guy has a lot of Pedro vibes to me.
Yes, strong
like,
Pedro vibes. Yeah, and also like Pedro had some vibes, and I could say that your dad might have had vibes of. Oh man, it was a Pauly Shore movie where they were like on like a ranch, and he was gonna like marry the guy's daughter.
Yeah, right. By the way, she never would have went for him. There's
Not a
zero
chance.
chance that she brings that dude home and that they fall in love. No chance.
I
do remember that movie,
think
yeah.
one of the most inexplicable was it Son-in-Law?
That's exactly what it was. Wasn't it that? I think it was that.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Gibbe?
Pauly Shore?
Yeah.
Son-in-law.
Son-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that guy had some Pedro vibes to it, and I bet
Yeah.
he could have a little
There's a
bit
lot
of
of
old
that,
man
yep.
vibes. But he has one of the most inexplicable lucrative careers to me because he actually was hot for a while. Like Pauly Shore
He
was hot.
the Weasel and all that business. Yeah, he
Encino
was
Man.
Yeah, he was
Juice
He was a legitimate movie star. He was a
Was he in Biodome as well?
He was. Yeah, he had 3 or 4 in a row. He was MTV for a little while.
Yeah,
he was MTV. In retrospect, I just have to blame it on the era. Like we just weren't able to fact check things the way that we needed to. We didn't have the critical thinking.
They were vetting like Gibby.
They were vetting like Gibby vetting. Yeah. A lot of people were made famous that shouldn't have
We're
been.
We're going to put Pauly Shore on like a ranch, on like a farm.
Yeah.
And have like an attractive lady fall in love with him, and it's going to be a romantic comedy starring Pauly Shore.
That's right.
With parents not approving,
No kidding.
Until he wins them all over.
Somehow. I don't remember the plot of it even. I want to say like it started as a ruse. Wasn't he like a buddy and it started as a ruse?
Who knows?
I think so. I feel like that's how it
Can't say
went.
there have been a lot of watches.
No, probably not.
Yeah,
probably not a lot of watches. Hey, we had the NBA draft last night. I know you didn't. You watched it very closely. You were taking copious notes.
Dialed in.
Dialed into it. I paid attention to it because there were 2 Buckeyes who were going to go in the first round. Turns out only one did. Malachi Branham, St. Vincent St. Mary, went to the Spurs at number
20, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I did have that.
4 or 5 spots lower than probably most people thought he would. I think he was maybe in play for the Cavs at 14, but they went Ochai Agbaji, which makes a lot of sense. I think it fits probably better with what they're trying to do long term and in the immediate term.
That guy's good, right?
He's really good. He was the MVP of the Final Four.
Right.
He actually fits in well with them because he's one of
D?
those guys. No, he's a wing, but what he really is he like can float. He can tend to disappear and float a little bit in games. Like when watching Kansas play, and they won the national title, but I watched a lot of them this year. My middle son Beamsy loves them, so we watched a lot of their games. And there would be times when you'd be like, boy, is he even in this game? Like he would just kind of disappear from time to time. But he's a really good defensive player. He shoots 40% from 3. And you can disappear on this team. They don't need somebody who needs the ball.
No.
They need someone who can catch and shoot off Garland's penetration.
Yeah.
So he'll fit really well with what they're trying to do. And then the other kid from Ohio State was E.J. Liddell, and he ended up going in the second round. He fell all the way to 41. The big takeaway that I had, and I'm always a little bit hesitant to do this, but it was really and I don't know how closely you watched it, Gibby. I thought that it was probably the worst produced draft show I've ever seen. Executed, produced draft show I've ever seen.
Worse.
And I bounced back and forth between the ABC and ESPN model. Basically, whenever one would annoy me, I would go to the others. They were married to the rundown. They would do these. They had like these pre-produced cartoon bits, and like actual news was happening, and they wouldn't go to it. Woj tipped picks on TV. Like it's one thing if he tips them on Twitter. He was picking them on TV, so you lost any sort of surprise of who was going to be picked, and there actually was a big surprise.
Why would he?
Ben Carroll went first. I was shocked they let him do it.
So that's crazy. But didn't he also yesterday morning tweet out that
Jabari Davis
was going first
and
and changed the odds completely on
It
Jabari
flipped
Davis
everything.
and on Banchero?
Banchero, yeah, Paolo Banchero. Now here's the problem with that though, because I've heard a lot of people say, well, Orlando is trying to get people off the scent. They picked first. It doesn't matter if you're off their scent.
I 100% agree.
Completely reject the notion. It's nonsense.
And
so
it
was
doesn't
a
matter
collusion with
where you
sports
pick.
Books?
I think it's in play. Like I don't understand it.
Because he was being wooed by sports books, but
I don't know.
End up leaving.
He swung the balance of it though. I mean,
that guy went to minus 660.
Yes,
but people were betting on it because it was a lock because Woj said it.
Jabari Davis,
and then obviously he didn't go first overall, and apparently the books made like a killing, and people were
not
what
pleased.
I did see, not on Twitter anyway.
No, true.
Not pleased.
Well, this is something we're gonna have to worry about in the sportsbook stuff in general, right? With these insiders, because they can flip odds. I mean, this played out yesterday. This is one of the fears of all of this. Is this part of it? Is this is going to be this inside information? Of course, it's always been there. It's just more out now than ever before. I thought like I'm not sure that 89% of the people. I'll tell you this. I'm not sure anybody not named Jay Billis on either of those 2 shows watched a minute of college basketball.
I watched the ESPN one. Like Kendrick Perkins.
No,
you might know the league,
jump,
but yeah, that doesn't work on draft night. It was rough, and then like Stephen A was doing stuff, but
he
he was
trying
all
to do First Take.
yeah, he was all upset about the Knicks, and
Said
I'm
he's
like,
not going to Madison Square
the
Garden.
whole country doesn't care, and the Knicks are a joke.
Nobody outside of Manhattan cares about the Knicks.
Correct.
And have
Yeah,
been for
because the
20
Knicks
years.
are irrelevant.
Yes, and have been for 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other problem with it was they were trying to do First Take, but it's 5 minutes in between picks. There's no time for it. So at one point on the ABC version, Nagande throws it to Stephen A. about Irving, and he starts going in this rant on Irving that lasts like 2.5 minutes. Jalen Rose, because he's in First Take world now, he's ready to rebut what Stephen A. has to say. He says like 6 phrases, and then they have to interrupt him because somebody else is picking. It was off. It was bad. It was bad.
I thought all
was
of
bad.
it was not good.
And
Doesn't sound
I
good.
acknowledge it's really hard to do live television, live radio. All of it's really hard. But it just felt like, and I think the people did the best they could in the circumstances, but it felt like, to me, one of those shows should have been from a college perspective. Here are people who've covered college basketball. They'd get Franchilla on there, and he can do like the European guys and all that. One show that does that, and the other one does it from the NBA perspective. So that way, whatever you want, you're covered. It felt like neither one knew what they were doing, and there was nobody outside
They
of Billis.
tried to mix everything.
Yes,
and
there was nobody outside of Billis who knew what any of these guys are.
you could see the frustration in Billis as the
Yes.
night went on. He was
So how
just
could they
like,
be put on the
okay.
show? How can you
I
not
think
do
that
the
they
work?
just did like the jump. Like they were trying to do the jump on the NBA draft. And the host, Malika Andrews, I believe is her name, she did a fine job, but like she was doing a different show. She wasn't doing a draft show. She was trying to do the jump. It was all NBA. Like she would ask Billis stuff like, well, does this, like they'd be at the end of the first round or the middle of the first round, and she'd be like, give me the guy that puts him over the top. And Billis is like, well, they're not really that close. Like this isn't going to put him over the top. It's a piece.
Yeah.
You know, like he was trying to be a good teammate, but it was just tough. It was a tough watch. Tough watch.
Well, I don't know. The NBA draft used to be a ton of fun. I think we touched on this yesterday, and it's gotten to the point now where like you've got guys you know nothing about, and you're just like, who, what can he do? And I feel like if you're not like top 5, there's a chance that you don't have any idea who any of these guys are. You know, you're going to know a guy if you get drafted in your market, but.
Yeah, I mean, the 3 guys, so Jabari Smith went 3. They had all the nodes that he was going to go 1. And then 2 was Chet Holmgren, and 1 was Ben Caro. And, I mean, they're all one-and-done dudes, obviously. It's been 13 straight years of this, freshman going first overall. But really, in terms of guys that you would have seen a lot, really only Ben Caro. You know, because, I mean, Auburn was really good this year, but you'd have to seek out Auburn a little bit. And Gonzaga's really good, but you saw them early and then you saw them late. So you lose them in between because they play in the West Coast Conference. So, but yeah, it was fine. I like the Abaji pick for the Cavs.
I thought it was great. Make a pick that helps you this year. I don't give me a project that you got to wait 2 or 3 years on. This guy can shoot the ball. He makes plays. Mm-hmm. He was smart enough to come back, realize last year that he probably wasn't going to – he came back to improve his draft stock. He did that. He works hard. I was listening to Bill Self last night. Someone asked if, like, he'd reached his ceiling already, and Self was basically like, that's BS.
Yeah.
Like, this kid can work. This kid puts in the work and the time.
Well, that's what happened with E.J. Liddell, the kid from Ohio State. That's why he fell, because people feel like he's a finished product. So, like, the Cavs took 2 guys that they're just going to stash because they don't have enough roster spots. And that happened in the second round. That happened at the end of the first round and the start of the second, where it was like, you know, let's roll the dice on a 7-footer and see if we find something here. So,
yeah.
By the way, if you needed more proof about how basketball has changed, the first 3 picks were all 6'10" or taller. All of them are perimeter players.
Yep.
That's something.
Yep.
Like you get a ball in a kid's hand who's tall when they're 7, and
shoot the basketball.
Shoot the basketball. That's it. Shoot it.
Don't
Knock
play
it down.
with your back to the basket just because you're taller and drop step people, because that doesn't. You need to develop skills.
When we were young, though, that's what it was.
That's what
like
the big kids did.
kids did.
Yeah.
You're a big, you go down there.
Yeah.
Bigs down here, guards here, and that was it.
Yeah.
And the bigs would go and they'd work on post moves. And now I don't know if it'll ever reverberate back to that. I mean, you think of the guys who won the MVP or in the MVP conversation, Embiid, Jokic, like they're bigs.
Who can all
great,
shoot it.
Right, but they're also there is a way for those guys to dominate on the block too. Like Embiid can do that. So anyway, it was good. in that it was entertaining.
Teams, though, I liken it to kind of the NFL, right? A team will gladly let you pound the ball on the block and make twos because you have to go 3 out of 5,
Yes.
and they have to go 2 out of 5 shooting threes. And they're, not necessarily fruitful possessions, and it's hard to keep up. Just like in the NFL, teams are happy to let a team run the ball. They're just not going to let them throw the ball and make big plays on them. So it's kind of similar in that regard in terms of you want spacing, you want speed, you want high scoring, big plays. Big plays in the NBA are threes. In football, it's the chunk plays. It's the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah. This is your last show before a long stint, a good run out of you, where you're going to be out. Well-deserved break.
Thank you.
If you were to give me a percentage of you that I will get today, what's that going to be at? Is the car started? Are you got a foot out the door? You ready to kick to the next level?
Spoon Man in the first minute of the show. You're getting 100% of me. You're getting everything.
One big.
I'm a like leave it all on the
You
floor
leave it all
'cause
on the
I'm
court
getting,
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he
Leave it on the
can,
court
but
guy.
he's got obligations when we're done.
Oh, you have
Gibligations.
Gibligations at the end of the program.
Well,
Sit
he
down.
had some
I could have
issues.
done it
He had
before,
some
but there
issues
was a
getting
big-
here, and
There
I
was
said,
a big
okay.
accident on the 480 bridge.
Oh, you hate to. That
Like,
stinks.
yeah, hopefully everybody's
Yeah.
okay. I have no
That's
information
brutal.
about it, but I know that.
And
it was-
I told him 20 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
it'll
all
be
I need.
20.
I'll
You're
get
very
you
good
out.
on- You're very good on your
3:15,
time
3:20.
gauges.
when you
you're out the
say
door.
20, it means 20.
It does. Yeah, it's never 40.
No,
No, never.
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
that's why we love them.
Yep, that's right. Look, I'm going to be very candid with you guys out there. There's not a whole lot in the NFL.
No,
Oh,
this
the
is-
NFL's gone to bed.
It's
The
nothing.
NFL is-
There's nothing there. It ain't
Absolutely.
there. It's quiet. It's over. There is absolutely nothing there. So we're
and
going to
there,
have a little
and there
fun
will
on the
not
program.
be anything.
No, I don't think so.
I think
No.
we're gonna have a lot of fun on the program.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of fun.
We need
it's
to-
a
we
it's
need
a
to
s-
have some fun.
Yeah, they need a little joy for the people. It is a CBD mailbag day. Tweet the questions at Browns_daily.
Anything with Meckling, let's go.
Using the hashtag AskCBD, we'll get to as many as we can. Honestly, we're going to do that at 2:30. Let's do it at 2:05 and do it for 55 minutes and call it a day.
Fun.
Next level's next.
We could make a run at that.
I might
feel
do
like.
that. Do like a 50-minute
Yep.
AskCBD here on a Friday edition. We're off and
Fun.
running. Cleveland Browns Daily 850 ESPN Cleveland. My friends at Bath Authority can give you that bathroom of your dreams. You can transform your current bath into a custom bath. It'll feel like a spa by the time they're done with it. It'll take them about a day to get it done. Let the Bath Authority make it a reality for you. They can do it cheaper than anybody else in town, a fraction of the cost. In fact, the Bath Authority is Cleveland's premier bath and shower remodeler. Expert factory-trained installers. Give a call now. $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel. That number is 216-220-8399 or go to thebathauthority.com. Simply put, it's where affordability meets quality. Superior Products, expert installers. Whatever bath project you need it done, they can get it done for you. Tub to shower conversions? Yep, they'll take care of you at 216-220-8399. $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel at thebathauthority.com. Do you know, have I given you guys I'm pretty sure I've shared my theory on you. It's I don't have a lot of things that I'll be able to lay my head at night and sleep and say, boy, that's an original thing that I came up with all on my own. But one of them that I think I maybe did is the notion that the Mannings all have the same tailor.
I was going to bring this picture up to you. It's outrageous. I mean,
am I wrong?
It is outrageous.
So this occurred to me a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, where I started to see images of – it was after Peyton retired, and it might have been right after Eli retired, where I started to see them pictured together, and they always were wearing the exact same outfit, different variations of the same outfit. Like, to this point now, I know the Manning outfit. It's well known. It is a 5-pocket pant, not a jean, but a 5-pocket pant, and it's a quarter zip. It's a quarter zip. So that's the winter outfit. That's what they wear in the winter. Their summer outfit is khaki shorts, usually a 2-button polo shirt. My guess is the shoes are boat shoes.
For sure.
So this image, so Arch Manning committed to Texas 2 days ago. I see an image that Eli Manning tweets out of their whole family enjoying the best, feels like probably his commitment that he's going to do this. We're all going to get together, all the boys. The Manning boys are going to get together. And they are all wearing the same outfit.
Khaki shorts, brown belt with some type of adornment,
embroidery,
whether it's an American flag, an Ole Miss, something on all of them. They all have that. It looks like maybe there's a T on Arches. Polo shirts with we've got a variety, but we have 3 solids, 3 stripes, all with a logo right on the
so
breast.
Apparently all of those are ultra exclusive golf clubs that they all belong to.
Of course they are.
As they would be. Okay. So there was one on Long Island that Eli, New Orleans Country Club, like the Country Club in North Carolina is one of them, and then like Castle Rock for Denver where Peyton lives.
Oh boy, Castle Rock.
Yeah. So that's what those all represent.
So that picture,
is that not unreal though?
It's
also probably same barbers.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I laughed out loud, and I knew that you, of all people, would probably like that more than anybody. It's sensational. It's so on brand.
It goes beyond. It goes even to their formal wear. They don't wear suits. They wear sport coats and pants.
Yep.
I've seen it. You've seen it. The sport coats always have some fleck of baby blue in them. A lot of times they will go with a copper or a rust. It's usually browns, and they'll always have some baby blue in the sport coat. Absolutely. It's the same outfit for all of them all the time. And my theory is there's one haberdashery in New Orleans that they get everything from. My hunch is that everything that they get is custom. It's all done by them. They have all their measurements on standby.
Oh, yeah.
Here's your fleet of quarter zips for the winter. Here's your fleet of pant for the winter. Here's your khaki shorts for the summer. Buy your own golf shirts. You guys can handle that. That's my hunch on how it goes.
I don't think you're wrong.
It's amazing. Look,
unreal picture. It's an unreal picture.
Amazing. I just think it's so crazy. It's so cool too that like, as a, your father of 3 sons, like, you want your kids, after you get through all the parenting part of it, like you want them to think you're cool. And the idea that like 3 generations all adore Archie Manning to the point that they all mimic his dress.
We're going to dress like you.
Forever.
Yeah.
I mean, these are high school kids dressing like their grandpa.
That would not have happened with me, and
No.
It will not happen. Bryce will not be dressing like Pedro.
Not in the cards.
And Arden will not be dressing like Nana. Absolutely not.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It's
a stunning.
really quite good.
It's a stunning thing. By the way, real quick, just some more nonsense silliness. it was really great down at the East Bank of the Flats. That's a really cool area of Cleveland.
It is.
Obviously,
I
a lot
hadn't
of
been
good
there in a long time.
restaurants. And there are new ones that have opened up right on the water. And it's one of those things that makes you, on a day like yesterday when we're down there, 77 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, you say to yourself, boy, if we could just have this like 9 months out of the year, this place would be really hard to have any issue with it whatsoever.
Yeah.
If we had that weather that we had yesterday.
75, sunny.
On the water.
On the water.
Yeah, there's just so much. There's so much going on positive.
Yeah.
That you'd be like, this place could really be on to something special. But anyway, went out and celebrated the good doctor, Pete Aziz's birthday last night. And I got to give a quick shout out to Town Hall. They took great care of us. And that's obviously, it's the one place in Cleveland that is always packed. There's always, it's a cool place. Like, flat out. Great food, great drinks, great atmosphere, cool people. And so we stopped in there and they were wonderful to us. And it was awesome. So shout out to Town Hall. Thank you.
I've not been.
Oh, man, you have to. That's the place, like, honest to goodness, when people come in and they say, we want to, where should we, go out or get a meal that we can hang out in a place with a cool vibe? Town Hall is always
That's the
I
one.
do send people to. Yeah.
Have not.
It's great.
Yeah, so that's very good. All right, this is Gibby's today's meaningless power rankings because it's June after all. Maybe vetted, maybe not. Those are his words, not mine.
That means not.
Adam Shine, NFL.com. By the way, if you want to do an example of a human whose voice doesn't match his appearance, he's number one on my list.
I used to work with him on that other.
What did you?
That other pregame
for the
show.
first time you saw him, did it make sense?
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Not one bit. Not one bit. And we could do a podcast with Pedro's take on the whole.
Oh,
situation.
he has a take.
Oh, as if he have a take. He's got.
Oh my God, I can't believe Pedro has a take.
Oh, he's got takes. He's got big takes on that one.
That's great.
Yeah.
So he ranked the NFL divisions by quarterback. I don't really care what he did. Let's you and I do it right now.
Yep.
AFC West 1.
Yep.
AFC North 2.
AFC North. NFC West. Although it's heavy at the top.
Boy, yeah, that
That's
NFC
a
West one got
questionable.
that. I'm not ready for that.
Not
yet.
ready for that
I'm not
either.
ready for that yet. Now that that used to be,
All
we
right.
were so used to it. Now it gets interesting.
Let's go to the bottom. AFC South. Although
South
AFC South
versus,
is at even the bottom.
I was just going to say, hold on a second, because you also have the NFC South in the bottom.
But you got Brady. Then you have
but
Carolina. You have
So
Winston.
right now it's Darnold, Winston, Mariota. I think it's the NFC South.
Okay, so there.
it's Brady,
AFC
and then
South
it's a big.
is Mills, Lawrence, Tannehill, Matt Ryan. Now that's better.
Yeah,
AFC East is Allen,
it's definitely
Wilson, Tua, Mac Jones. NFC East is Dak Prescott, Danny Dimes, Jalen Hurts,
Wentz.
and Wentz.
That's down low.
I might put that at the bottom.
It definitely
who else
doesn't
do
have
we
the
have left?
ceiling. It doesn't have the. I think you probably are right, because at least with Brady, he elevates.
Brady elevates.
He elevates the rest of the NFC South, and Dak is the best you're doing in the NFC East.
NFC North.
Cousins,
Rodgers,
Rodgers, Fields, Goff. That's actually that might be one that's in conversation here in the middle.
I think the AFC West and the AFC North are clearly the cream of the crop.
Yeah, I think I think you could do NFC North third. Rodgers is elite.
Yeah.
Cousins and Goff are more than respectable.
Okay.
And Fields is high potential.
Yeah, Seattle's not having a fourth.
They don't have a guy.
They don't have anybody, and you would have
And Lance
Stafford,
is more unknown than Fields. I don't know if that's good or bad. I would have Stafford is below Rodgers.
Yeah. What about
Murray versus the other?
All right. What about Allen
Tua, Wilson, and
Jones?
I think it's the NFC North is third now. It's AFC North. It's either NFC North or it's NFC West.
The AFC South actually might not be that bad.
And I think AFC South would come in next. Mine would go NFC North.
Okay.
And then I would go NFC West.
What about? I think you got to get the
Fifth, I would go AFC East. Or no, AFC South fifth. AFC South fifth? Or NFC South
I just don't think the NFC South with Brady.
It's just Brady.
The strength of Brady.
The rest of it's really bad. Mariota, Winston, Darnold
Awful.
is bad. The other three are as bad a situations as you're going to find.
So the
Brady
NFC
lifting
East,
all of
we're
them.
going to say is the worst. Dak, Wentz,
Dak,
Hurts,
Hurts, and Dimes. I mean, it's
It might be the
all,
NFC South.
I think my hunch was NFC South. It's just how much can Brady lift? But the other three, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. It's tough. It's interesting that the AFC West and AFC North are in
They've
there.
completely separated.
And the AFC West is in its own category. AFC North is in its own category.
Yes.
Then it's a bunch of similar, like.
Third's ninth in this case.
Yes.
The NFC West, the flopping of Russ took away the parity of it because it was a 3-horse competition.
Yep.
And then that changed it. That absolutely changed it. And we vaulted. I mean, we basically stayed where we were. Watson upgrade over Mayfield. Roethlisberger, though, leaves, and you get whatever they're going to do there at quarterback. So that's kind of where that stands. But, yeah, the NFC, I think it is the NFC South. It's bad. And there's not the future plan in the NFC South is Atlanta's be really bad and maybe you can draft C.J. Stroud.
Exactly.
That's the plan.
Yep.
Because there's no real plan in Carolina. They tried everything. They tried for 2 years to get Watson. So, and there's who knows what happens with Brady. Remember, they almost didn't have Brady.
Yeah.
If he could have had his way, he'd have been in Miami.
Right. Which would have helped that.
And how many years did Winston sign up for?
I think two.
Just
Two?
short. And they wanted Watson too, obviously.
Yeah.
Man,
I don't think anybody is cemented there except for Brady, but
right, and it feels like he's cemented for one more
1 year.
All right, let's see. I'm going to scroll down and I'll give it. Are you looking at the article?
No.
All right, so we'll start at the bottom. He has the NFC East at the bottom, which is what
they were in the conversation.
That's where we had him, right? Or do we have the South?
Them or the South? I think we landed on the South.
So that's East, South 7th, AFC South 6th, which is what we had. We had the AFC East 5th, AFC East 5th, NFC North 4th, NFC West 3rd.
Yeah.
AFC North.
Yep.
AFC West.
I don't know why he doesn't on the NFC West, because he's got, if there's two quarterbacks in the mix, he has a slash. There's no slash in Garoppolo for the 49ers. I just don't.
Because it feels like he's over, and they're already, according to Pedro, they are full, like all of a sudden it's a Lance Love fest.
Well, where are they? Well, he would know. He's
but how are you going to get rid of Garoppolo?
What do they do with Garoppolo?
They're going to trade him to somebody.
Where?
I don't know.
They may have to cut him or
Gee,
take on
Mr.
the money.
Spicoli. I don't know. I like that. I'm going to write it on my class for all my classes to enjoy. Write it on the board.
What pompous.
Mr. Hand was so
great.
good.
So great.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go around the league coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. car, truck, or motorcycle accident cause you injury, call the injury lawyers at 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. Elk & Elk's a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. As we go around the league, Alvin Kamara's camp expecting at least a 6-game suspension for what? What is? I don't even remember what he's in trouble for.
Vegas.
Oh, was he a
Is that
Vegas
what it
guy?
is? What happened in Vegas?
I believe
I
so.
don't remember that at all. I don't remember him in trouble.
It was right after the Pro Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought
Was
he
there an
also had a.
incident?
Did he have a PED too?
No. It was.
Oh, he got in a fight.
Yeah.
He got in a fight with a dude.
After allegedly breaking a man's eye socket, fearing a six-game ban.
6
Yeah, it
games.
was Las
huh?
Vegas Hotel Pro Bowl week. I remember that.
6 games for a fight, huh?
Seems excessive.
Oh, there's more to it, though. Him and 3 other men, allegedly, beat up a dude. So there you go.
It was
It's a violent act.
a crime, yeah?
Yeah, was a crime. Yep. So could be 6 games there. I don't believe this for a second. Tyreek Hill saying he got death threats after his comments about Patrick Mahomes. I don't believe that. You can't. Here's the deal. You can't say that some idiot on Twitter who's a bot or has 8 followers gives you a death threat. That's not a real death threat. Okay? It's nonsense. It's Twitter nonsense. Like, if you're going to go through every mention, yeah, then you're going to find some idiots who are going to say some things to get attention, for sure.
Sure.
But, like, come on, we got to have some. There's no way anybody rational out there did that. I don't buy that in any way, shape, or form.
I hope not.
Yeah, there's no. I don't buy that. I thought it was weird what he
Let me
said.
tell you something. To say that in the world we live in today, I'd buy
Valid.
anything.
I guess it's valid. That part's valid. Yeah.
I would buy absolutely anything.
Yeah. I did think the timing of what he said was strange. It was weird to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an odd comment.
I can't believe that people are that protective over Patrick Mahomes, though. Like, doesn't everybody know he's great? It just seemed like more of a silly thing to say than anything else.
Agreed.
Yeah. Gibbe says we were talking yesterday about the all-time tight end list.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
All right.
Retired.
And he delivered to Athlon's top 25 tight ends of all time. He's printed it out for you. This is Athlon's list?
Yep. From 25 to 1, kids.
I mean, I wouldn't try to do that, but if I was to do my top 4 of all time off the top of my head.
Without looking, top 5?
Yeah, mine.
Well, what do you – yeah, it's hard. I think you have to acknowledge how much the game is different and what the tight ends do is different. You know?
I came up with 6 that I feel like are in their own stratosphere.
Like in my mind's eye, when I was a wee lad, I would have had – I thought it seemed like the best 2 tight ends in football. In the AFC, it was Kellen Winslow and Ozzie Newsome.
Yep, I have those 2 on there.
And then it felt like Dwight Clark was really good, but I don't know if he was. Was he?
Yeah.
For some reason, it felt like he was a tight end.
No.
Okay.
Russ Francis was the tight end. of
Okay.
those teams.
Okay. All right.
Of your youth, come on.
Yeah, my youth. You think I would know that? And then like Novacek was always around a little bit. Novacek,
Yeah,
Brent
but not-
Jones, but I don't know that they were
No,
great.
no.
They were just good guys. Mark Bavaro had a heck of a run with the Giants in there.
Sure.
But most of them are the new guys. Mostly it's Antonio Gates, it's Tony Gonzalez, Gronk,
and Shannon Sharp. Those 6 to me are in their own class.
Yeah. It feels like Kelsey's close to that class.
He's on his
And Kittle, like
he's on
those
his
2
way.
guys both feel like they're right there.
Kittle's got a long way to
But
go.
Kelsey's in it. Feels like Kelsey might be it. Might be in that group now.
Ultimately.
I mean, he feels like he's a gold jacket right now.
Absolutely. That's fair.
Is that a fair statement?
I think so. The Travis Kelce's a gold jacket. So let's take a look at his accolades here real quickly, shall we? I mean, he's certainly the best in the league today by a rather wide margin. Kelce started in the league in 2013.
3-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro.
7-time Pro Bowler,
7-time
all-decade
yeah,
team.
he's already off.
So he misses his first year. Since then, he has played 2014, 862 and 5, 875 and 5 Pro Bowl, 1125 and 4 All-Pro, 1038 and 8 Pro Bowl, 1336 and 10 All-Pro, 1229 and 5, 1416 and 11 All-Pro, 1125 and 9 last year. Yeah, absolutely he's on his way to the Hoff, no doubt. Yep. 3-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time second.
He's already has more Pro Bowls than Gronk.
It doesn't surprise me.
Gronk has 5. Gronk was a 4-time first-team All-Pro at tight end.
Kelsey, it says right now, is well on his way to being a Hall of Fame, according to the Pro Football.
I think right now he's done. Like
I think
if
he's
he
in.
shut it
He's
down
in
right
today.
now, he's in.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah, it's good enough to
So
be
yeah,
in.
so
Gold
then
jacket.
there's 7. So there's 7.
So he's in the mix.
He's in the mix. When you look at,
All right, that's my off the top.
I like it. All right, so let's go in there. All right,
he's
so
got Kelsey 10.
he's got number 1, Tony Gonzalez, 6-time first-team All-Pro, 14-time Pro Bowler, already in the Hall of Fame. 1,325 catches, 1,527 yards, 15,000. 127 yards, 111 touchdowns. Gates is second. Gates, 3-time first-team All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler. So yeah, Kelsey's right there. He had 1,184 yards and 116 touchdowns. So Kelsey right now is at 9,006 yards and 57. Now, Gates was in from 2003 to 2018, so that would mean Kelsey would play to 2028 for similar stats, and he would surpass him quickly.
Really quickly, just to give proper respect on Tony Gonzalez, would you have had 14-time Pro Bowler?
No, that's insane.
6-time first-team All-Pro.
And he was in the league.
14-time
It looks
Pro
like
Bowler?
16 seasons in the league, and
14 of them. He was Pro Bowl.
He's Tony.
I mean, he's a dude for sure, but I wouldn't have had it that dominant.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, that would have been at the height of your fantasy football powers.
Oh,
So that's probably
yeah.
why you were really dialed into him. That's an incredible.
Yeah,
that's a stunning level of accomplishment.
Pretty incredible. He made it. So he played 17 years in the league. He was first-team All-Pro at age 36 in his 16th season. 93 catches, 930 yards, 8 touchdowns.
Yeah,
with Atlanta. Gronk, they have third, 4-time first-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler. Again, Gronk did it in such a short period of time. 143 games for Gronk. Here's something that'll be an interesting comparison. 143 career games for Gronk. 9,286 yards, 15 yards a catch, 92 touchdowns in 143 games. For comparison's sake, Kelsey, 127 games, 9,006 yards receiving, which means he will surpass him at 143 pretty easily, 57 touchdowns. So he would have to get 45 touchdowns in his next – 35 touchdowns, in his next 16 games. 35 touchdowns in his next 16 games to match Gronk's touchdown production.
Well, the other thing with Gronk is he has all the moments.
Huge.
He's got all the moments. I mean, he's got all the Super
Clutch.
Bowl catches. He's the most dominant offensive teammate of Tom Brady's life. And so they are hand in hand in any of it going forward.
Shannon Sharp, he's got 4-time first-team All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler, 815 catches, 10,060 yards, 60 touchdowns in 200 games. Kelsey's already, but again, different era.
Yeah.
But Kelsey is smashing him on those numbers. 5th, Winslow, 109 games, 541 catches, 6,741 yards, 45 touchdowns, 3-time first-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, already a Hall of Famer.
In the Hoff. Yep.
In the Hoff. Newsom, 1-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler. At 6. In the Hall of Fame, obviously.
I wonder if they didn't do second team All-Pro in those days.
Just as 1-time All-Pro, first team in 1984.
Yeah. I wonder if they didn't do
Ditka, 2-time first-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, 158 games, 5,812 yards, 43 touchdowns, still holds the record for most receiving yards in a season by a rookie tight end, which is a stunning thing.
I was just going to say, that record of his is really hard to wrap your head around.
Pitts had a chance to break it.
That Pitts had a chance to break it, that he probably did it in 12 games.
And forever ago. And somehow that holds is pretty wild. It is stunning and probably one of the most shocking things that holds. So they've got John Mackey, 8th, and this is going way back, 3-time first-team All-Pro, Pro Bowler, Hoff, different era, hard to compare his numbers, but only missed 1 game in his 10-year career. The John Mackey Award is given to the best tight end in college football annually, so it's named after him, so you got to imagine he was probably pretty impressive. The fact that Witten is ahead of Kelsey's crazy to me. Witten, 2-time first-team All-Pro, 11-time Pro Bowler, 239 games, 13,000 yards, 74 touchdowns. Old school tight end, good. But Kelsey, to me, I mean, already 3-time first-team All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler. He's going to be he's going to go, as he says, he'll continue to go up the list. So that's his top 10. Dave Casper was a big deal when I was growing up. 4-time first-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler.
Pretty good.
Premier tight end in football in the 70s, like 4-time first-team All-Pro.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
That's better than Witten at 2, Ditka at 2, Ozzie at 1. I mean,
it's also a position where they only have one on the All-Pro.
Right.
As opposed to linebackers or tackles or everything else. I mean, that's why being first-team All-Pro quarterback, being first-team All-Pro tight end, it's one guy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Greg Olsen, never first-team All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler. That surprised me. I would have thought he might have had a first-team All-Pro in there at some point.
How about the fact that we have is it true that currently in the NFL we have at least 2 guys currently playing that are that have the potential to be considered the best of all time at the position in Kelsey and Donald? Is there one more that could be based on where they are, like are on a trajectory for that? Donald definitely is, and Kelsey's. I mean, he's as accomplished as anyone to ever play it. Brady is, yeah, for sure. He's in that too. It's hard to believe that, yeah. But he's still obviously he is that, and he's 45 and still playing somehow.
I mean, there are guys that probably feel like they've got the potential to ultimately get there. You know, I know that Miles wants to get there as the most dominant, edge of all time. That's a big
you got to go though
hill to climb.
I mean, you got to start stacking defensive player of the years, 22 stacks. He's like, you got to have that Watt run J.J. Watt had is the one you got to have.
And J.J. Watt's a guy that,
and he was, but then his body defied him, and that was the end of that. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I can't imagine anybody at receiver breaking into the Randy Jerry conversation.
No, Calvin Johnson. No.
Yeah.
I mean, Julio is elite and he'll be a Hoff, but never on their level.
Not on their level.
He's not in the You're talking about guys that would be in the greatest NFL game ever.
Greatest game of all time, greatest team of all time. That's a tough club to break into. This league's been around a long time.
Yeah.
It's a really tough club to break into.
Brady
it's rare that people are. Brady's in it. Donald's in it. Kelsey's close if he's not.
Kelsey's probably.
He's at least on the trajectory to be.
Well, if you think on a 53, there's going to be 3 tight ends on the roster.
But even if you just did like a starting 22, Kelsey's approaching the conversation.
Starting 44. Yeah, so he would be in the conversation.
He'd be in the conversation.
He probably wouldn't get in, but he'd be in the conversation.
But he's close.
Yeah.
A couple more years.
Sure.
And he's got Mahomes. Donald feels like he would be.
Yep. Donald would. Of course, Donald's playing in that game.
Yeah.
And now you're just kind of like you're stretching a little bit, but does Jalen Ramsey with 10 more years get at least in the conversation?
Yeah, you have to. Who's laying the groundwork for those type of like Mahomes is laying the groundwork.
Ramsey groundwork. Derrick Henry, I don't think gets in that.
No
when
way.
You think about
no, Adrian Peterson. Even before you get to Walter Payton, Emmett Smith, Barry Sanders.
Yeah,
no, Jim Brown. I don't see that. I don't think any of the receivers can break through. Corner, that's brutal. Like breaking into the Deion Sanders, Rod Woodson, like that Night Train Lane, those guys. Ronnie Lott at safety, like that group. Yeah. Ed Reed at safety, that feels impossible. Linebacker feels impossible to break through that.
Right.
With who's
Ray
there.
Lewis or Singletary.
Right.
There's nobody, especially the way the game's going.
Yeah. Those will feel like those guys will have that for a very, very long time.
And then that's not my area of expertise on the offensive line per se, but you'd think like the Hoff would be in that conversation.
Yes, he'd be in that game, I think.
I don't think Trent Williams is approaching that game of the Hoff, Munoz, Orlando Pace discussion.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he's there yet.
In
the interior.
I mean, you're talking just off the top of my head. There's a lot of really.
That's
good
hard
guards.
To get into that.
Hard to get in that the center conversation. It's a tough thing to get into. You have to be that dominant. I think J.J. Watt. If we had done this 5 years ago, you'd say J.J. Watt's.
He's headed there.
Path to be in that game, and his resume still remains very impressive. And I think people forget
it.
So J.J. Watt, 5-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I mean he's a gold jacket,
no doubt.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, it's just his career has fallen off of a cliff. He has 5 seasons, and he was first-team All-Pro in all of those. He had one with 20.5, 2 with 20.5. One was 17.5, one was 16, one 10.5, and then every other season, the other seasons he's been in the league, never had more than 5.5. So 2012, 13, 14, 15, 4 straight years, first-team All-Pro, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in a 4-year run, led the league in sacks twice and tackles for loss 3 times. Like that is from a 4-year stretch, maybe as dominant as anybody. Like did Donald even have a 4-year period where he was 3-time Defensive Player of the Year? And maybe he did.
Yeah, I think he would be in that
So-
group. He's even has a little bit more longevity.
He's got, first of all, Donald has 7 straight first-team All-Pros. He does have a stretch of 3 Defensive Player of the Years out of 4, 17, 18, and 20.
So he didn't win it the last 2 years?
He didn't win it in 2021. He won it in 20. He didn't
20
win it in
won it.
19. He won it in 18 and 17.
I wonder who beat him
But
in
he
19.
only has one season of more than 14 sacks, and Watt had
3 or 4?
4. 20 and a half, 17 and a half, and 16.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look,
if you
different.
start
Watt
to go
would
into there,
Watt would go on the edge sometimes too. Like, I mean, Donald's in the middle.
it's hard to say. And again, 3-4 big ends. But
Yeah.
so let's say, for example, Reggie White, 8-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 2 seasons with more than 3 seasons with more than 16 sacks, 4 seasons. One was 16, 18, 21, 18. J.J. Watt, if you were to say give at the peak of their powers that 4-year run, he would be in that game.
Yeah,
That
For
4-year run's
sure.
as good as anybody's.
as anyone's ever had. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen. I mean, the last corner we saw that would be in the discussion for that game would be Revis. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Ramsey's approaching that now, but he's got a long way to
He's
go.
got a long way to go.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go. Yeah, for sure.
Let's see.
I mean, we had a great run. There were a great run of safeties that were in that mix, from Ed Reed to Palomala. Like, there were several of those guys that were, dynamic players at safety.
So Revis, 4-time. Yeah, Palomar would be in the discussion. 4-time first-team All-Pro for Darrell Revis.
I think you'd be. I bet you Rod Woodson has a lot more than people realize.
Oh, Rod Woodson. Yeah,
I think
3-time
there's a
for
lot.
Ramsey. And Rod Woodson gives you that, he can be like a corner
Charles
safety.
Woodson would probably be in
Charles
that
Woodson's in the game.
in that game for sure.
Rod Woodson, 6-time All-Pro.
Yeah.
Chucky Wood. Let's see.
He was also Defensive Player of the Year. My gosh, Woodson was 9-time All-Pro.
Yeah,
6-time,
Charles Woodson's in the game.
Rod Woodson was 6-time first team, 3-time second team, and Defensive Player of the Year.
All right,
Rod Woodson.
Chucky Wood.
He's starting.
Chucky Wood, only 3-time first-team All-Pro. He was 4-time second-team All-Pro. Was a Defensive Player of the Year in 2009. Was the Defensive Rookie of the Year as well. Yeah, Rod. It's tough, man. It is. Is tough.
I said 9 for Rod Woodson's resume is actually better than Ed Reed's by 1 All-Pro. Ed Reed's ridiculous. He got 5 first team, 3 second teams, and a Defensive Player of the Year. Woodson's got 6 first team, 3 second teams, and a Defensive Player of the Year. So Rod Woodson's resume is actually better than Ed Reed's.
Yeah. Troy Polamalu, 4 first teams, 1, 2 second teams, and a Defensive Player of the Year in 2010.
You got to have that DPOY, to be in that mix. I'm curious because in my mind's eye, Deion Sanders was this all the time. Yeah, it's pretty good. His is similar. So he's same as Ed Reed. He's got 6 first-team All-Pros, 2 second-team All-Pros, and NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 1994.
So
his 1 year in San Francisco.
Lott has 6 first teams, 2 seconds. He's been top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year, but never won it.
He's still in the game. He wore Jordan 4s in a Super Bowl. He's in the game.
And he's a beast.
He's an absolute beast. All right, final hour on a Friday up next.
Oh, baby.
All sorts of fun, including a mailbag edition of the program, and we're going to have some fun with the all-time HBO characters list as well. That is coming up. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Let me know when you're ready.
We're good.
7 a.m. waking up in the morning.
Cleveland Browns Daily on 850
You're hot.
ESPN Cleveland.
Don't have cereal. Living her best life. What happened with her?
Down to the bus stop. Gotta get my bus. I see my friends kicking in the front seat, kicking in the back seat.
I remember you played this like 2 summers ago, and I'd never heard it until you played it.
I take?
Probably haven't heard it since.
No, I haven't.
Friday, get down on Friday. Everybody's
When did this song drop?
2011.
It's 11 years old?
It was actually Rebecca's. It was her birthday this week, so I actually played it on ECT one day.
All right,
Beautiful.
let me see.
Look at how many views this has on YouTube.
And she was a question on Jeopardy the other night. I saw someone tweet at us. They were like, thank God I listened to Browns Daily. I knew the
Oh my
answer to
God,
this."
she's 20. She's only 25?
Yeah,
She did this when she was 14?
yeah. Hey, Bootsy, take note. YouTube sensation right here.
Don't give him any ideas.
Let's go.
In the front seat, kicking
I can't
in
believe
the
you know
back
every
seat.
word.
Gotta make my mind up. Which seat can I take? It's Friday. Get down on Friday. Buddy's looking to weekend. Party Friday. Down on Friday. Buddy's looking forward.
You
to
know it.
the
You can't argue. You know it.
weekend. Partying, yeah. Partying, yeah. Fun. Looking forward to the weekend.
How did you learn the words to this?
Did you hear this right? Yesterday was Thursday. Hold on. Today is Friday. Listen, she's going to break it all down for you. Okay.
What comes
so
after?
Excited. We so excited. Tomorrow is Saturday.
Oh.
And Sunday comes afterwards. I don't want
Sunday
this
comes-
weekend
oh.
to end Friday.
Now, why would it?
Come on, we've got a cameo
We got
rapper.
a remix. This drops in?
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Is this Mace?
No. How many views? How many views?
I don't know. I didn't. Was I looking for it?
Yeah, look, I want you to tell me. What's your guess right now?
Oh, probably. If you tell me this was a big deal, I would say like 200 million or something. Probably.
Oh, yeah. Easy. I'm saying easy on that.
161 million.
There you go.
Bootsy can be that person.
And party. Yeah.
By the way, for perspective, maybe we're playing the wrong one. So Katy Perry has a song called Last Friday Night, which did 1.4 billion.
That's Katy Perry.
I don't know. Isn't she in the realm?
Katy Perry's
No.
like a megastar who has
But
like
isn't you presenting it
concerts.
as if
This is a
woman
kid. This is like a kid who just made this for fun with her like family.
Electronic
And then
keyboard.
somehow it went?
And it
Yeah.
went viral. Katy Perry sells out arenas.
Well, I know,
this
but I
girl's
thought
never
like,
done a concert.
It's another
She's-
show about Friday.
she has
Another
one-
song about Friday. Is this the better Friday? Can we litigate Friday songs?
I mean, you've heard it. It's obviously the best.
It's
This would be like if Bootsy, you
Katy
like
Perry's
recorded
more
Bootsy
like
making
last
a
Friday
song.
night.
yeah, that's what it said. Last
Yeah,
Friday
we're
night.
not to Friday night yet.
Friday
Only
night's
on
the
to
best
Friday.
night of the week.
Listen,
Am
Katy
I wrong,
Perry
Walter?
is
Am I wrong?
No, you're talking. Like, this would be like if Arden made a music video
Like with her buddies, and then
for
it
fun,
became,
and it had like 160 million views. Like it got to a tenth of what a Katy Perry video got.
okay. But I haven't looked at like views on this, so I didn't know like what a big number would be.
But like this is it. This is it.
That's it.
She
Yeah.
tried to do one that was like she did like I think a remix like maybe last year and was like supposed to be more adult and it was just like
No,
let's just
you
leave
had
it.
The question is, did she financially make enough to where that at age 14 she's good?
I don't know. I think it was really hard for her because people were pretty mean to her about it.
Why? She's 14. What are you
People
gonna
are
do?
mean. What do you
People
mean? Why?
suck. People
Yeah.
are the worst. How could you be mean to her?
Exactly.
She's a kid trying to make good,
She has a reported net worth of $500,000.
so it didn't last.
No.
Oh, then I do. I mean, it's a catchy song. She should get some money for that. 161 million hits.
I feel like there's got to be more money in like that. Those views are
How
worth
much money did Rebecca Black Friday make? Forbes estimates it was $20,000
No,
Oh.
that
from
can't be.
YouTube's revenue sharing program.
When was that?
161 million
When did they
has to be more
estimate
than
that? Like
20
in
grand.
2012?
Yeah, that can't be.
He's
That's
got
got to be
161 million. That's worth a lot of money.
It's got to be worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Estimated, and Billboard estimated iTunes sales of approximately 43,000 copies, roughly equivalent to 26,700 in royalties.
Right, but we're talking about the YouTube views. There's a monetization when you have that many views, you're making.
You got to be making
money.
some good money. Yeah, I would think. I want to tell you about my friends at Rainier Home Exteriors, where beautifying and protecting your home is their passion. You can upgrade the look of your home, create a high return on the investment. New siding with Renew Home Exteriors. This is high-quality stuff, my friends. I saw it just yesterday. Some of the stuff that they're putting on the side of homes, ranging in every architectural style, over 50 colors to choose from. You get $1,500 off and free insulation wrap, plus 0% interest for qualified buyers. In addition, Renew Home Exteriors will meet or beat competitors' estimates by up to 10% or pay you $100.
Whoa.
They'll do it. They're the ones to take care of you on this front. Beautifying your home with premier siding and roofing products at lower prices with Renew Home Exteriors. Visit renewestimate.com for more on that front. What's the most viewed thing on YouTube?
It's got to be some type of a music video, I would
We
think.
feel like it, right?
I don't know if you want to go down that rabbit hole.
No, it's got to be
That's on
safe.
YouTube.
It's YouTube. It's got to be safe. It's got to be. Got to be safe. All right. What do we got here? We have this from Barstool.
A little
Yes.
HBO.
The guys at Barstool, I don't know who's involved with this, but it's June, and so we're gonna absolutely steal it, quite frankly. So they did an HBO character draft. Okay?
Okay.
So
That's right.
now it appeared they did it as a snake draft, and they drafted everybody from from HBO shows over the course of this draft. So a couple of things jump out to me, like the idea that Lieutenant Dick Winters is on the same drafting plane as Kenny Powers.
Captain Winters, by the way.
Well, he's captain, then he becomes Lieutenant Winters, and then
I'm just
eventually
saying,
Major Winters.
They just didn't clearly want to put his first name. That's why I was just laughing. Everybody else has their names.
That was probably the first month of the show.
Yeah.
And at the time, you guys thought maybe you had to hit a dump button, but I was paying homage to one of the great men in the history of our country.
You were.
And one of the
Or
great
the
series.
reaction to that on YouTube.
That
Oh,
would have been
man.
fun.
Incredible.
That would have been fun. All right, so I would just tell you this, that based on these teams, to me there is a clear and distinct winner by such a wide margin that I don't even know that it needs to be litigated by anything. Like,
Team
to me,
2 has
by
won
100 miles.
by a billion miles.
It's really not even close. They have – I mean, I think, honestly, their guy they pick at 22 is better than their pick at 9. But the fact that they end up with Larry David, Tyrion Lannister, Logan Roy, Selena Meyer, and Al Swearingen.
It's just a
a murderer's
murder.
row.
It's a murdering.
You could make an argument that those could be the top 5 picks.
You could make well,
The only thing is not enough people probably saw Veep and Deadwood.
but I mean, Swearingen is an absolute
Swearingen's
force.
an unbelievable force of nature. I mean, it's
How about the fact that people are so upset about the ending of Game of Thrones, and I wouldn't have expected Jon Snow maybe to appear on this.
no Daenerys
But the fact that
Targaryen.
Daenerys Targaryen did not went undrafted is insane. If it was done before the final season, she's on line 1 without question.
She is a cosign and probably singularly responsible for the most cool moments you've seen, like 5 of the top 10 cool moments you've ever seen on television.
Yep.
She's responsible for, and she's nowhere on this list.
Yeah.
Which is like the idea of the Hound. Like the Hound was nothing.
No,
I mean,
compared to her.
it's not even like, come on, there's no way
By the
the
way,
Hound would be on this.
I think a huge miss that somebody should have absolutely been able to make the case for, unless it was clearly stated that they must be a human being, is Drogon.
Pretty dominant. Even if it's amazing. Like all by himself, he won the whole damn war.
That's right.
Didn't even need anybody
Even
else.
after his bros
One bro got.
smite, they were taken down.
Did they both get taken down, or just one of them?
Didn't one get taken down?
One
by
got
like
taken
the
down by
frost,
a bow and arrow.
and one got taken out by the
By the frost dragon.
dragon.
Yeah, so that was it.
Or turned into the frost dragon, I should
yeah,
say.
Yeah. Terrible scouting on that return home trip.
Oh my goodness.
Terrible idea
Just
for
a-
that plan. The whole thing was just absurd.
Dumb. Amazing though that Tyrion survives his blunders to still be a second-round pick
Why do you think people do not realize how incompetent he was?
because he was so good at the
'Cause he was
beginning.
funny
Yeah,
at the
but like
beginning?
Daenerys deserves to have that, and I would argue
The idea that Johnny Drama's on this list and Daenerys Targaryen is
is crazy.
nonsensical.
Crazy. I'll tell you what, even though he was on a brief period of time to stick with the Thrones theme, like Khal Drogo made quite an impression on me. Like I wouldn't mind having him on my squad.
He made an incredible impression. Yeah.
Like
no question.
I think he's better than
no doubt
than Johnny Drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, Team 2, I looked at this and I just laughed. Like, Team 2 is so much better than any other team. It's not funny. Like, to say that you want – and we love Stevie. We want to have us Stevie on our team. But the fact that, like, you would go into whatever this scenario is with Stevie Janowski as one of your, like, heavies is just crazy to me.
Absolutely crazy.
Like, this team starts up. You've got – Dick Winters and then Arya Stark.
Who's a real human. Like Richard Winters is a real human.
Yes.
Like one of the most distinguished.
And you're like, okay, we're off to the races right here.
Yeah.
These two, that's a 1-2, and then they just fall off.
I don't know Rue Bennett. I don't know Cassie Howard. I'm guessing they're from that show that the kids watch.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Janowski and then
Johnny Drama. Like, honest to goodness. I mean, that show sucked. I mean, they got Ari Gold as 10.
You could have had at the 25th pick, you could have ended up with Daenerys Targaryen and had like a pretty strong trio.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I mean, David Lannister, Roy Meyer, Swearingen, to pick up Swearingen in the 5th round is incredible. Now, let's –
I don't know who Peacemaker is. That's Cena, obviously,
but
Cena. I don't know what that is. Yeah.
People like that. People are enjoying the Peacemaker, but
okay.
whatevs. So, if you and
– By the way, Russ Cole, not a great hang.
No,
True Detective.
dark.
Not a great hang. Marty would have been far better to hang with.
And he went in the third round.
He went in the third round.
Like Soprano, Ari Gold is a pretty good start. Marty, even their top 3 is pretty good. Ramsey Bolton?
He's not a good character. In fact, he's completely one-dimensional.
Totally.
He's just evil incarnate. That's it.
Nothing
like
else
at
least, honestly.
I mean, honestly, Sansa Stark is far superior to Ramsey Bolton. She wins.
Where's Cersei?
Whoa.
Where's Cersei on this list? No Daenerys. No Cersei Lannister.
Cersei Lannister's a first-round pick.
Absolutely. And Jamie is a pretty darn good pick. You know else who I wouldn't mind having on my team is Tywin Lannister. I realize he gets taken out by Tyrion, but
great.
Formidable. We'd have a bodyguarded bathroom for him.
The two people that played the game the best were Tywin and Cersei.
No doubt.
They played the game the best. Yeah, they should have been.
Cersei not being in this?
That's as outrageous. That's as outrageous as Daenerys.
Stevie Janowski was drafted before Cersei Lannister or Daenerys Targaryen.
Johnny Drama.
I mean, Team 2
come on
dominated this, and anybody who thinks otherwise it makes me question your sanity. It was dominant. So let me ask you this.
Leon Black not on this list? If you're gonna tell me Johnny Drama is better than Leon Black?
Leon Black? Are you serious?
Johnny Dramas.
Quite frankly, if you want somebody who's formidable, where's Susie Green?
Susie Green, the
formidable
Funk Man?
The Funk Man?
Come on.
All right.
What are we doing?
All right. So
are we doing this? You want to do this?
Do you want to? Are you going to participate, Gibbe?
I can.
Do you know? Do you feel comfortable with the material?
I know enough.
All right.
I've watched enough HBO shows. I can work my way through this. It will not look like your list by any stretch.
Okay. I mean, I think it would be more fun, even instead of like drafting it out together. Like, what would your give me your starting 5, like your best 5 possible.
Well, the first name I write down is Tony Soprano. Because when I think of HBO, it's Tony Soprano is first on that list. So I would have Tony Soprano 1. LD would absolutely be would be number 2 on my list. I tend to think that Deadwood season 1's the best thing HBO's ever done. So I would have Al Swearingen on my list. He would be on my 5 for sure. Then it gets really hard. I would probably have Cersei would be. I don't know how you can't. I mean,
I agree with you.
Cersei or Daenerys, one of them. But honestly, Cersei's it's so conniving. Such an incredible character. I love Logan Roy too. There's a lot of good ones on here. Selena Meyer's good. Kenny Powers is pretty good, but again, it's kind of one note. The Wire's probably the best show they ever did, start to finish. They have Omar on this list at 7. They have Stringer 23. He's pretty good. I mean, they're pretty good.
Omar. So mine is Larry, Tony, Swearingen, Omar, Cersei.
Omar, Cersei. Yeah.
Ari Gold is similar to Kenny Powers in that I love him and I would want him on my team, but he is very one note.
Yeah.
Very one note. Logan Roy is in the mix there, and as I enjoy Succession, maybe he would rise up. But I considered Arya. I considered Arya, but she also had like.
If I just had to pick one from Thrones, it's Cersei.
Cersei.
She's the correct answer
Correct.
from Thrones.
That's right.
Yeah. And Al and LD and Tony.
And those are
it's hard for me on the guys from Band of Brothers because they're real people.
Yeah,
so I don't
it's
really,
not a show.
Yeah, I don't consider them as
By the
that.
way, if you're getting into like if Johnny Drummond, like the fact that the second person that you would pick from the world of Kenny Powers is Stevie Janowski over
Ashley Schaefer.
Ashley Schaefer is bonkers to me.
It's pretty crazy. No, that's great. It's a crazy list. It's an absolutely crazy list. Yeah, I don't have a problem with your Omar call. I think very possibly that we could very easily have. You're picking from the same stuff. It's those guys for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Who do you got, Gibby? Who are your 5?
Tony, Larry. This is strictly for my entertainment purposes. Al, for sure. I'm
Swearingen. Oh, nice.
Boy.
By the way, Larry Sanders and Arliss might not be bad. Arliss might not be a bad addition to the squad.
I feel like Larry Sanders is going to hold up a little better than Arliss. I feel like that was pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
show.
I was looking up
Larry
other
Sanders.
names.
Larry Sanders
Jon
was a
Snow,
remarkable show.
Larry
It was,
Sanders,
yeah.
Vincent
I haven't seen
Chase,
it forever. No.
Leon
Vinny
Black.
Chase.
How about Funkman or Leon? Which one do you prefer? That's like
Whoa.
choosing a child.
Don't
Whoa.
ask me to do that.
Yeah.
I think you should. It's Friday.
I
You're
would
going
go
on
with the Funk
vacation.
Man. I just loved him.
He was
I
unbelievable.
loved the Funk Man.
I did too. I know it.
And Leon's great too.
Logan Roy is really climbing my list, though. And that might be some recency bias. He's definitely
So
in the
formidable.
conversation. So great. He smacks those spoiled kids around. I mean, that's pretty great. Selena Meyer, I don't know if enough people watched Veep, but she was
Fantastic
unbelievable
show.
in Veep.
Like the crazy thing is that this team, and she is unbelievable, but you could have swapped Tyrion out for Cersei,
Yes.
or Selena out for Cersei,
yes.
or you could even had Tyrion, Daenerys, and Cersei's, and had David, Cersei, Logan Roy, Daenerys Targaryen, and Al Swearingen. Like, I mean, that is
done.
just. It's unimpeachable already, but it could have been better. Like looking back,
There was potential for it to even be better.
I'm taking Al out of my top 5.
Sad. Hate to
Sad,
hear it.
yeah.
Tony, Larry,
Okay.
just for my pure entertainment purposes.
I think that's all.
I
any of
love
this is
Kenny.
giving.
I love Ari Gold.
Kenny
and
Powers is
I need
unreal.
Dick Winters.
That was strong.
Selena and Al are runner-ups.
Kenny, I feel like could just blow up the whole thing with his idiocy and lack of self-awareness.
And I love it. And
Like, my
Ari
team
has
is
no
like
filter.
Who was the guy who
which I
said this
also
week?
love.
Who was Gronk? Was the best parts of? He was the personification of the best parts of Kenny Powers. But there
You
weren't
said
that many.
No, they're right. Limited.
Very limited amount. The crazy thing about this is like Richard Winters is an actual dude and did
Yeah.
all that stuff. Like he's actually one of those guys. I can't. Even to this day, if I put on HBO and they go that thing starts, the first thing that comes into my mind is "Woke Up This Morning." Like it's the Sopranos theme. It's the first thing I think of is Tony and the Sopranos and all of that. All right, it is a mailbag edition of the program. Get your questions into.
I think we
Gibby.
might as well just do it next.
You want to do it next?
Yeah, you want to stack?
Your world,
Stack 'em
brother.
and let's
it's
do
a
it.
Friday. Let's live our
Let's
best
do
life.
it.
Get your questions into Gibby. Hashtag AskCBD. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Are your business operations suffering from internal communication breakdowns? Beau here for my friends at EOX Vantage. Data scientists, also business ops experts. Your EOX Vantage team helps you build a streamlined communication system. It brings together your email, your chat, your intranet announcements, your CRM. It's one clear flow for you. Your people, including those who work remotely, gain a centralized hub that encourages collaboration. No more disconnected communication methods that leave team members out of the loop or not on the same page. In fact, you get real everyday business problems solved, and you can do it with EOX Vantage. See how other business owners are getting everyone on the same page by visiting EOXVantage.com. Gibby, did you see Rome?
I
on
did.
HBO?
I did. I bought it
Tremendous.
for my father then, too.
Yeah. Atia of the Julii, Titus Pullo,
Yeah.
strong.
Good pull.
I got to watch that after.
Just 2 seasons was
after
Yeah,
at the
that-
time the
sales.
most expensive thing they'd ever produced. It's like $100 million a season. Stunning.
And season 2, not anywhere close to as good as season 1. Season 2 was good.
It's really
but
good. I think it's one of those ones where like it was one of those shows where if they would have known how long they could have run it for, they would have done it differently.
Spread it out.
They would have, because but it holds up. I watched it. There are a couple of these things I rewatched. Like Amy had never seen The Sopranos. We rewatched that during the pandemic, and then at the beginning, and then this one too. She hadn't seen in real time, so I rewatched it.
My father likes certain TV shows, but he was a huge fan, and when that thing got canceled after 2 seasons, he was was devastated.
I think they knew it though, because that second season they fast track a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think it was just too expensive to continue to do that. To continue to do it at that level. A lot of bad advice about gambling, from secret methods to picking lottery numbers to betting big when you're on a roll. The miss can lose you money and get you in a lot of trouble. So before you wager, find out what's real and what isn't at keepitfunohio.com. Time for a little mailbag, Gibby, on a Friday?
I think so.
Baby.
I think Zegura's already out the door.
No way.
He's been
You've been hurtful.
engaged.
I've been great. 100%.
I don't know. I feel like it's starting to waver a little bit. Starting to
To be
waver.
fair, it's the last half hour.
It's 2:30.
Waiver. I just was turned into yeoman's performance.
And really, like 7 or 8
yeoman's
minutes of
effort.
this is commercial break. So
And
really,
the
we're at
characters
20
draft of the HBO was great. I was all over the tight ends. Jimmy Graham, first team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler. High
minutes. Yeah,
ceiling,
you were.
high peak.
Yeah,
Noted.
it's all right. It's starting to fade a little
Why are you always
bit.
coming in? What are you starting to fade? We just got out of a 7-minute break. Like, what could I have? I faded in
Just
break.
remember,
I faded when
we got
weren't
more
on the
work
air.
to do when we're done.
Not if you treat me like
Gibligations.
this. Not if you treat me like
Gibligations.
this.
Oh.
I'll leave you high and dry.
Leave me high and dry. I'll show up at your place and with a recorder.
You're coming to
bang
Michigan?
it out.
All right.
That would be amazing if we hunted you down like on the
Hey, you didn't.
West
You
Coast
didn't
of
finish
Michigan.
this,
I could
so
do
we're
it.
gonna
I-
finish this right
Yeah,
here.
a little recorder. I could sit on the beach and do it.
Hello?
Welcome into a special edition of Cleveland Browns Daily.
That's right.
Nathan Zegura and Beau Bishop. Coming up on today's show, you're going to hear from the Hoff, Joe Thomas. All right, that was the Hoff, Joe Thomas.
There
Coming
it
up
is.
next on this special edition of Cleveland Browns Daily, we're going to hear from Gibby.
They'll hear it next week,
Yeah.
to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah.
See, I just did it right there. Were you
Just did
rolling?
From Gibby.
And you say I'm slacking. I'm like doing 2 things at once.
Listen to you.
Efficient.
All right. Mailbag time at Browns_Daily using the hashtag AskCBD.
Oh, baby.
You too can get your question answered here in the next 20 minutes. Dave Brown, the Aussie Cleveland Browns correspondent, as he's known.
Oh.
How old is too old to be wearing Converse high-top Chucks? Original black on white. I'm 39 and getting the look from my wife.
No.
I would
not
tell the
to-
wife, put
fact-
that look away.
Yeah, that's fine. No. I'm not a big high top guy. My kids, there's a what's that? The one? Well, we won't tell the name. There was a shoe that you just got that my kid wears, like a high top version of that,
Yeah.
like a Nike shoe.
Yep.
That is really cool. But I'm not much of a high top guy. But who am I to judge? And
I have
Chucks
the
are
low top
always in.
Chucks on right now. I got
Chucks
the
are-
Battleship gray with the white.
Chucks have never not been in ever. They'll always be in.
And in fact, I know we have people in our building who are well up the ladder who wear Chucks. There's nothing wrong with Chucks.
Agreed.
I thought he was going to ask about how old do you have to stop wearing jerseys out in public.
Oh, yeah.
So again, you know my stance on it. Basketball jerseys are fine at a pool, at a beach. Although I've run into a problem, and I would like to.
You were wearing one the other day going for a walk on Father's Day.
I was on purpose, and I'll tell you why. The purpose. Well, we did go to the pool later that day, but so I don't know if it's because, it's the first time we've had OTAs and a mini camp in a while, and I was out there every day. The golf season has been short, so it can be that. But I have like a ridiculous golfer's tan.
Oh.
So fully.
Oh, sure.
I am fully two-toned
I gotcha.
in the arm, and so I'm trying to
Balance
Is that from
it out
the
a little
golf
bit.
trip?
balance
maybe?
it. No, because it's been this way. For some reason, it's been this way the entire. Once I got tan on my arms, face, back of my neck, and just right here, and then all of a sudden nothing. It's crazy. So I've been trying to wear sleeveless to at least or even out
Catch
my
it up.
arms or to catch up, because I figure there's only so tan this part of my body can get.
Yeah,
like
at some
it
point
doesn't
right.
continue forever. But I'm like ombre. I mean, that is a stark difference for being right next to each other. So I'm trying to get that out. So that's why I was going with, in the name of the tan evening, I was trying to wear more jerseys than normal or a sleeveless T-shirt, because I got to do something.
My way to combat that is I wear long sleeves always in the playing golf. Like breathable long
No way.
sleeve.
No,
I'd
I don't wanna do
sweat. It would just get ugly.
No, you wouldn't. It would be actually be cooler than wearing a short sleeve polo if you have the right fabric. I'm telling you,
Alright.
trick I picked up in the South. But you have to have the right
No
fabric.
doubt.
Otherwise, it's a disaster. But if you have the right fabric, it's actually
Are you talking
cooler.
dry fit?
No, no,
What
no,
are
no,
you-
no, 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 no. I'm talking about a nature fabric, like a nice bamboo. All that thing's going to do is breathe. Every little
Bamboo.
every
Totally.
little breath of air that comes across is going to work as an air conditioner for you. You get a little SPF in that thing.
Yep.
Never turn back.
Yep. That's
No
right.
way. I can't do it.
You would be cooler than what you're wearing right now. True story.
It
Hard
totally
to wrap
possible.
your head around, but it's true.
Peepaw's question of the week. Is a round brisket from a brown spotted just as or more tender than filet from a black Angus?
There's no doubt that brown spot is the elite.
the elite-
It's elite.
it's
Now
elite
you're
beef.
gonna have to that brisket. It's very different than a fillet. Obviously, a lot more fats. You're gonna slow cook it, smoke it. You can sous vide it for 24 hours at whatever you want. But oh baby, I've never heard anybody complain about a brown spotted.
No, it's
Fine-
the best.
fine
As
meat.
you would know from your time growing up on the Ponderosa, that's all anybody wanted, the coveted brown spotted. This will be, potentially like a Stephen A. hot take, probably too hot. Not a big brisket guy.
It's got to. I do like it, but it's not like if you were to rank things that I enjoy eating from
Yeah.
the brown spotted, it's lower on the cut list, like significantly so.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work.
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's good, but it's, like if I'm going to eat beef, there's several things that I would prefer over it.
Yes, agreed.
And I know some people love it. It's just not for
I don't
me.
have a problem with that.
Okay.
This guy's name is great. Eddie Hackathorn at
Mm.
Rather Be Golfing.
Yep, smart.
Well done.
Same.
It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Was it hackathon?
No, Hackathorn.
Oh.
You got an R
The
in there.
spork is like that bowl that's not very deep but wide, that is almost a plate-like but has that bit of depth. Perfect for a casserole or pasta. I think you use
Okay.
the spork on anything.
I do like a plate like that. I like a plate that's got a little bit of depth to it. You can drop it in. That way the
That's-
juices can flow. That's where you want to be. You
I-
don't want to be in a all that way. And if you have something that you want to keep out of the juices, you just elevate it up to the porch.
It's a shallow bowl.
Yeah, that's what you want. That's the right type of plating that he's working with right there.
Ethan Rubo has 2 questions for us. You can tweet your questions to @Browns_daily using the hashtag AskCBD. Actually, a football question, Zegura, for you.
Okay.
I feel like I haven't heard much about Michael Woods II, seeing as we can't keep 5 running backs in addition to 6 wide receivers, especially since we might need to carry 3 QBs. I see Woods battling Felton for the 6th wide receiver spot. Who do you give the way too early advantage to? I don't know if I want to do that, but
I don't want to compare those
Yeah.
two, but I'll tell you, Felton has been working with the receivers and getting some reps out of the slot. Woods is an outside receiver. He's a guy out of Oklahoma that when you watch his tape, and we'll have a Browns breakdown, by the way, the first one dropped yesterday
nice.
with me and Coach Howard and MJ Emerson, and people have really been enjoying it. I've actually had a lot of people bring that up. So check that out on the Browns YouTube channel, youtube.com/Browns. But we'll have one on Mike Woods as well. And with Chad O'Shea. So he's a guy that, remember, he didn't participate in the OTAs. His first participation came in the mini camp, so you didn't get to see much of him, but I think that he has made a rapid ascent on Chad O'Shea's power rankings in the sense of he didn't know what really, where he was going to be at, and he's been very pleased with him. A long strider, changes direction very naturally, knows how he catches the ball well away from his body, uses his hands, and somebody that I think he's been a pleasant surprise, put that way. You draft a guy in the 6th round, you don't know. Now, Donovan Peoples-Jones has worked out, but again, he was the #1 wide receiver recruit in the country. Mike Woods does not necessarily have that pedigree behind him, but has been very impressive. His ability to get quickly on defenders and make breaks and create separation and then catch the ball has been something that has caught the eyes of the people here. Now we'll see how it goes forward with him in camp and when the pads come on.
One other question from Ethan here on this Friday. You guys talk a lot about golf. Have you ever played disc golf? If not, would you ever try?
Yeah. I used to play it all the time in college. Lots of fun. What we would do with, we used to call it Falf, which I don't know if people don't like that or not, but that's what it was. What we played was Falf. Yeah, Costanza went Frolf. Yeah. We went Falf. And we would do, there's a course, if you Google it, there's a disc golf course called the Diamond X outside of Billings, Montana, which had these incredible elevation changes, and you basically would play along the rim of a mountain, and then you would tee off. Like, there was one tee shot where it felt like it was like 200 feet off that you would throw the Frisbee, and you have to climb down the mountain. Also, it was awesome. But we would run in between holes. Like, I've seen people do it. We were more like, we would run in between holes.
Speed Falf.
Yeah, we would run to the disc in between holes and play that way.
I've never played it.
Oh,
I enjoy throwing a Frisbee, but I'd rather play golf.
I am one of the worst Frisbee tossers maybe mankind has ever seen.
That surprises me.
Yeah, awful. Awful, awful, awful. I like to do it. I really suck at it.
I wasn't one of those guys,
That's
Oh, wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That's
Stunning.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of those guys, though, that, like in college, and I don't know if you had it at your school or you at Gibbe, like at Emory, there were guys who would just stand out on the field and, like, throw the Frisbee around all day.
Arbitrary
every day, and
weight,
just,
no.
Like, and they could, like, flip it like this and like this and through their legs and all that stuff.
Felt the same way about the hacky sack people.
Yeah.
Okay. Go do something.
Great.
Like, if I was going to be outside, let's go play hoops. Let's go play some pickup.
Throw the football around.
Throw the football around.
Get a
let's play a little game.
7-on-7.
I was never good at any sport where you just arbitrarily did it. Like, I always wanted to find something you competed at.
Yeah.
Like, if I was going to shoot hoops, like, let's go play 21. Let's go. I didn't want to just shoot around.
Totally. Right. Let's play.
Let's go play. Let's compete. Do something.
Joseph Patton tweets at the show an interesting question. If the Browns were to do a special helmet design for a one-off game, how would Nathan Zegura and Beau Bishop design that helmet?
White helmet, gray face mask, same stripe. You want to do the brownie, right?
How about we'll compromise? We'll put them on one side.
No, we can't do that.
No, can't do that. No, let's put them on both sides. Brownie. That's what I would want.
You would want brownie on the sides. I wouldn't. I would just go white, gray face mask, and stripe. That's it.
I'm fine if we took like the sweet 46 uniforms, 75th anniversary one, and made like a brownie patch. But I want, like, with the white lid, I want brownie somewhere in the mix.
Yeah.
Are you fine with that?
My compromise with you was to put him, like the Colts one time did, like the horseshoes on the back of their helmets.
Yeah.
That would be, I could talk myself into that. Which brownie, though? Like the one where he's standing there, the one where he's running? I like the one where he's running with the ball, like more than the standing one.
Hold on. What if I'm going to come? Hold on. I'm going to see if I can come up with a crazy idea real quick here. I
think a white Browns helmet would be amazing.
So nice.
I think it would look amazing. I mean,
so
our colors, I mean, it's the Texas scheme.
Yep.
You know, like that all white look.
I'd ask them to also make me one with a white face mask so I could actually see it how it looks. Because especially if you want to go with just the white helmet and just like a brown and orange stripe, the all white might be pretty nice.
It might be. I just thought I would Google, like, if anybody's done any white helmet concepts, and of course there are some out there. None quite the way we described it.
Jed T. Fish.
I mean, the white face mask would look like the Texas helmet, which is awesome.
Yeah.
He tweets at the show, how on earth did Marty from Ozark not make either of your lists?
It's not on HBO.
It's on Netflix. Talking apples and tacos.
Come on,
Bum
man.
bum ba bum ba.
Gibbe, you should vet that.
Eh.
You should have had that.
I mean, that's the Texas one's very strong with the white on white.
right.
White mask.
But don't you think like brownie kind of looks like that Longhorn? Like, don't you think it look kind of nice?
if it's the brownie with, I like the one where he's doing the stiff
Yes,
arm.
fine.
That's the guy I like.
Fine.
I like that one.
Fine. Sold.
Steph Heineman. What's your favorite mascot inside/outside of Cleveland?
Yeah, I like this guy.
Yeah, that dude. Yes.
I like him more
That
than
guy.
this guy. This is
Same.
the guy I like.
That
I like
guy.
that guy right there.
Yes.
The stiff arm brownie
On
guy.
the
I
helmets.
like him.
How money would that look?
Best mascot outside of Cleveland. Is,
Inside or outside?
well,
I
if
think
we're
of
gonna go-
Elf right here.
If it's live, then Bevo. I mean, it's a Texas Longhorn. And I've been in the presence of him. He's a stunning creature. I would also say that Uga is incredible.
That's
the bulldog,
from
Georgia.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Sitting there on the bag of ice and having his best life. I like
Tremendous.
Swagger a lot. It's a good dude.
SJ. Swagger Jr.
Can we just call him Junior?
Are you talking like from like a logo perspective or like an actual mascot?
I don't know. She just says, "What's your favorite mascot inside or outside of Cleveland?"
I don't like a lot of the cartoony ones.
No. I
No.
really enjoyed back in the day the Phoenix Suns gorilla.
That guy was unbelievable.
He was great. Great.
Unbelievable.
He was a great dunker.
He was.
He was awesome.
Do you think he was inspired by Trading Places?
Had to be.
Had to be, right? Yeah.
Meshling time.
Bobby.
3 questions.
Bobby! Hey, Bobby!
Hey, Bobby!
Hey, Bobby!
Who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
Macho Man.
JYD.
Probably the first name that comes to mind for me was Mr. Perfect. I loved him. I
Yeah.
loved the vignettes.
Yeah.
I loved the perfect.
He was a heel, though, so you even could wrap your head around liking a heel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
would-
loved
I loved-
Rude.
Yeah, I was a Mach Man. I loved Mach.
I loved
I just
Mach.
loved him. I
Mach
thought he
is
was
on my Mount Rushmore.
just incredible. I was
Yeah.
never a Hogan guy. Never.
I liked Hogan, but like I wasn't. I didn't love. I was rooting for Mach at WrestleMania 5.
If you could shop free in one store, which one would you choose?
If I could do what? Say that again, please.
If you could shop free in one store, which store would you choose?
I would say that Bobby probably pays attention to my other job because this feels similar.
You
Oh.
asked that question. My answer for the rest of my life:
One store the rest of your life. I think it. So what I
Heinen's.
sold food forever.
Food, wine.
No. I think
he's looking for
if there was,
clothing.
yeah, if there
I think
was
he's
a
looking for
place like
clothing.
you could go free.
I mean, the one that would save me the most money just because I exclusively wear their pants would be Lulu. Would save me
For
the most
sure,
money on
but like
pants.
you went to, like I've got enough one for every day of the week. Like I'm good.
Yeah, how many do you need?
I'm
Yeah,
sold.
they last a long
I
time.
would say I would probably go and try to circumvent it and somehow finagle my way into Dick's Sporting Goods because I can get golf stuff, I can get workout stuff, I can probably get something that's a Lululemon
Similar.
knockoff.
Yeah.
I can pick up some golf clubs, by the way, and golf balls
Yeah.
while I'm at it. But I'm going
that
back
would
to
save
food.
me a lot of money on the
Oh
kids
my God,
too.
both
the
of those
Dick's
places
yeah.
would be huge.
Yeah,
Hey,
Heinen's would be,
I'll take one, you take the other.
and then we'll share. Ah, look at the big brains on the big
Like
B's.
my buddy Albie, one day we were in our apartment in college, and I had gotten Chinese food, he had gotten pizza, and he looked at me in a very profound way, and he said, "Let's go international, Nate. What do you say?"
Let's go.
We had an Albie quote board for a while.
That's a
that
good
was
one.
on there. I mean, we were in college. We found that to be extra funny at the time.
All right, 1 minute left.
Those are
Ryan
showstopper.
says no. If there was going to be an all CBD remake of The Breakfast Club, which character would each of you be cast as?
I'd be the principal.
I don't know who I would be.
You wouldn't be any of them. They all suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of the John Hughes movies, that's down my list.
I was not. It never.
That was down my list. It takes a serious turn. Like
dark.
it's too dark,
Too
man.
dark.
You can't do that. You can't give
Was
me
there
that,
like
John Hughes.
who was the athlete
better than
guy?
that.
Wasn't there one of the guys that was an athlete? Guy?
Estevez.
Yeah, so I guess that's who I'd have to
He
be.
was a wrestler, though. You're not a wrestler.
I'm a pro. I'm associated with pro wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Emilio Estevez.
I'd be Emilio. Yeah.
That was the peak of his powers. He went
I'm
right
not-
into that, from that into Young Guns.
I'm not gonna be. Who was play the very brooding guy? I can't remember. And then Anthony Michael Hall. I'm definitely not. Molly Ringwald. Nope. Who
Yeah.
was the other guy?
I'm the principal.
You're
I'm
the principal.
fine being the
I could
principal.
see that. What was the name of the guy?
Got
Who
my
did he?
eye on you, Bootsy.
Who played that guy? Why can't I think of his name?
He was in all those. I can't remember him. He was in all that stuff at that time, and I don't know what happened to him. We'll get it at the other side of this quick timeout. So much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Browns breakdowns are back. Log on to youtube.com/Browns. Watch Z break down every new Browns rookie with their position coach. These are really cool. Check out Z and Jeff Howard breaking down MJ Emerson. Have a good vacay, brother.
Oh, it's going to be great. By the way, for all the Montana haters out there, 23 starts in the playoffs, 9 games with 3 or more passing touchdowns. Brady, 47, only 13. Wham, wham, Joe's the GOAT. Later.
Also, Jeff George, greater than both.
And greater than Colt McCoy. I saw some tweet about it.
Oh,
Give me a
sad.
break.
We can't have that.
Give me a break.
This isn't sad. Go ahead, do the honors. The next level's next.
The next level's next. I'll see you in July.
Cleveland Browns. 850 ESPN Cleveland.